Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on fluid mechanics. We had discussed a lot of problems which included numerical values on viscosity, and we have understood so many things about viscosity and how does it vary. Now we are left with a few more problems on viscosity, upon completion of which we can move towards the rest of the concepts that are other properties of fluids. Take the next problem. A 15 centimeter diameter vertical cylinder, a 15 centimeter diameter vertical cylinder rotates concentrically inside another cylinder of diameter 15.1 centimeter, full stop. Both cylinders are 25 centimeter high, full stop. The space between the cylinders is filled with a liquid, whose viscosity is unknown, full stop. If a torque of 12 Newton meter, is required to rotate the inner cylinder, at 1000 rpm, determine the viscosity of the fluid. If you remember the last problem we solved, you had a shaft and sleeve, and the shaft was the rotating part and sleeve was the fixed part. And you know how did you solve the problem? You had the torque involved in it. Torque means force into perpendicular distance, and then you again went to the old equation that we already know, that is tau is equal to mu into du by dy. See, all these things are required in this problem also. Now the shaft was horizontal like this. Now he says you have two vertical cylinders. I will take this one as the example. The piece of chalk I have in my hand and the chalk holder. Let the piece of chalk that is inside be with the diameter 15 centimeter, and the chalk holder be the outside cylinder which is having 15.1 centimeter diameter, and both are how much? You can observe 25 centimeter high is what is given in the problem. The inner cylinder is rotating, and observe very carefully, the place between the inner cylinder and the outer cylinder is applied with an oil whose viscosity is unknown, and that is what needs to be calculated. For the inner cylinder, you need 12 Newton meter torque if it has to rotate at 1000 rpm. Now you have to calculate what is that mu. Mu is hidden in the equation, tau is equal to mu into du by dy, in which the requirements are tau, du and dy. If you get them, you will get what is mu. How do you get tau? Tau is nothing but force by area. How do we calculate area? Which is that area? Again, area is the contact area. Be very careful, it is not the cross sectional area, it is the contact area. What is in contact with the liquid or the oil? The inner cylinder is in contact with the oil, and that is the rotating part. So area have to be the contact area of that inner cylinder. How do we calculate the area of the inner cylinder? It is nothing but pi d, that is the circumference, multiplied by length. So diameter is 15 centimeter into pi, that is pi d circumference, multiplied by length is 25 centimeter. You will get the area. Then what is force? Force is hidden in torque. Torque is force into perpendicular distance, in which torque is given as 12 Newton meter. If you are able to get what is the perpendicular distance, you will get force. Now observe, what is that perpendicular distance? From where are you going to calculate it? If you remember the shaft problem, we calculated it from the center of the shaft. That became the radius of the shaft. Now, which is rotating here? Rotating part is the inner cylinder. So, if I have to calculate the perpendicular distance, it has to be the radius of the circle inside. So, you will get what is force. So, in the equation tau is equal to mu into du by dy, the tau part is solved, and on the right hand side you have du by dy. What is du? Du is the velocity with which it is rotating, but what we have is 1000 rpm, that is rotations per minute, which is rotating and it is rotatory motion, but what we have in the equation du is linear motion. So, you will have to convert that rotatory motion into linear motion. How do we do it? It is by using pi d n by 60. I can easily get what is the equivalent value of that rotatory motion in terms of linear motion. So, that velocity is also achieved, du can be calculated. Then what am I left with? If I get dy, I can easily get what is mu. What is dy? Dy is nothing but the thickness of the oil film. How much is the thickness of the oil film? By looking into the problem, one would say 15.1 centimeter is the diameter of the outer cylinder, 15 centimeter is the diameter of the inner cylinder, and hence the difference is 1 centimeter, or sorry, 0.1 centimeter. No, you should not take it that way, because the diameter of the inner cylinder is 15 centimeter, the diameter of the outer cylinder is 15.1 centimeter, but how much? I will show you with the help of drawing also, which will be easier for you to understand, but it is the gap between the inner cylinder and outer cylinder will be total 0.1 centimeter is the difference. So, you have to divide it by 2 in order to get what is dy. When I depict it on the board, you will easily get connected. That is why I have told you. So, you can get f, a, du and dy, the only unknown will be mu, and you can easily get what is mu. I hope you got the overall picture of the problem, and hence I will start the solution. Let me recollect all the data given and will start with the given set of data. What is given to you? 15 centimeter is the inner circle diameter, 15.1 centimeter is the outer cylinder diameter, and 25 centimeter height. First I will draw that only, which will be helpful. Let us assume that you have two cylinders can observe here. Now, the height of the cylinder is 25 centimeter. The diameter of the outer cylinder is 15.1 centimeter. The diameter of the inner cylinder is 15 centimeter. Now, you can understand the total difference is 0.1 centimeter. So, thickness of the oil film will only be 0.1 divided by 2 centimeters. That is what I wanted to make out. Now, I will write this diameter of the inner cylinder. So, that is 15 centimeter. Centi is not in SI unit. So, I will write this as 0.15 meter, because centi is 10 power minus 2. When you put it back, point here. So, it will be 0.15 meter. Diameter of the outer cylinder is 15.1 centimeter. Upon conversion, it is 0.151 meter. What else is given? The height. Height is given to be 25 centimeter, nothing but 0.25 meter. And then what is given to you? The space between the cylinder is filled with liquid whose viscosity is unknown. Torque. Next, torque is given to be 12 Newton meter. This is in SI unit, so I don't touch it. Next, you have rotations per minute. N is equal to 1000 RPM. So, that this inner cylinder rotates at 1000 RPM. So, determine the viscosity of the fluid. So, viscosity of the fluid is in the equation. We know that tau is equal to mu into du by dy. So, tau is nothing but F by A. This must be equal to mu into du by dy. How do I calculate force and area? I'll go one by one. I can easily calculate area because diameter of the inner cylinder is given and that is the rotating part. So, I will have to take the diameter of that and calculate the area of the inner cylinder. First, I will take up A, but area is equal to, what is the area that you will have to take? Which area you will have to take? You have to be careful. Again, I am telling you, it is not the cross sectional area that you will have to consider, but the area of the cylinder that is in contact with the fluid here. Okay. How do I calculate? It is circumference multiplied by length. So, I will write this as pi d into L. Okay. What is pi d? Pi d is nothing but di inner, because the inner cylinder is rotating. Here L is nothing but height, but what I have written here as h is L here. So, pi into diameter of the inner is 0.15 into length is 0.25. So, how much is the area? Area will be equal to 0.1178 meter square, 0.1178 meter square. Area is over. Then you need to calculate what is F. How do I get F? F is nothing but hidden in the torque. Torque is equal to F into perpendicular distance. Also, I will write this as torque is equal to F into perpendicular distance. If you observe, this has to be the center of the cylinder. What is this distance is nothing but this perpendicular distance. Okay. So, torque is given to be 12 Newton meter, force is to be calculated, multiplied by perpendicular distance. So, how much is this? 15 centimeter divided by 2, or in other terms 0.15 divided by 2, 0.15 divided by 2, using which you can calculate what is F. F is nothing but 160 Newton. F is nothing but 160 Newton. When I solve the problem, you please take out your calculators and solve for it. Then only you will get the feel, and hence you can repeat the same in the exam. If you just copy it from here, you will not be able to use your calculator efficiently. Okay. Now, in this equation, F is over, A is over, you will have to get what is du and dy. How do I get du? Now, du, athwa illi first I will write it as u is equal to du is equal to pi dn divided by 60. Pi dn divided by 60, pi into diameter. Which diameter? It is always the diameter of the inner cylinder, because that is the rotating part here. Pi into 0.15 into n is 1000 divided by 60. So, what is the value of du? Du you will achieve it as 3.979 meter per second. 3.979 meter per second. And finally, you will have to get dy, which will help you solve for mu. Now, dy, what actually is dy? This 15.1 centimeter minus 15 centimeter will give you this entire gap, but you will have to divide it by 2, because that is the point, that is the gap between the outer cylinder and the inner cylinder. You can observe here, I need the difference between outer cylinder and the inner cylinder. So, it is 15.1 minus 15 divided by 2. So, it is 0.151 minus 0.15 divided by 2 in meters. So, you will get dy as 0.05 into 10 power minus 2, 0.05 into 10 power minus 2. Therefore, you will finally have the equation ready for mu. Therefore, F is 160 divided by area is 0.1178. This must be equal to mu into du by dy. Du is 3.979 divided by dy is equal to 0.05 into 10 power minus 2. Only unknown here is mu. Solve for mu and the value will be in SI unit. So, it is 0.0865, 0.0865 Newton second per meter square. And if you wish to convert this into poise, multiply it by 10. Therefore, mu is equal to 0.865 poise. You can keep the answer in SI unit itself if he has not asked for keeping it in poise. Take the next problem. Two large plane surfaces are 2.4 centimeter apart. Two large plane surfaces are 2.4 centimeter apart. Full stop. The space between the surfaces is filled with glycerine. Space between the surfaces is filled with glycerine. Full stop. What force is required? To drag a very thin plate of 0.5 meter square between the two large plane surfaces at a speed of 0.6 meter per second, comma, if first one, the thin plate is in the middle of the two plane surfaces. Second one, the thin plate is at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from one of the plane surfaces. Full stop. Next line. Take the dynamic viscosity of glycerine. As 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 Newton second per meter square. Okay. If you give it a plain reading to this problem, you will understand a few things. Now, you have two large plane surfaces. Now, I am standing in a room. Assume that the two walls are, now you are sitting in your rooms. Assume the two walls that are on either side of you to be the two large planes that is given in the problem. Now it has to be 2.4 centimeter apart. Of course, it is only, the gap is only this much, but for your understanding I am telling you to take the example of your room. Assume that the distance between these two walls is 2.4 centimeters and there is a thin plate in between. So 2.4 centimeters gap is only this much, and within that you have a very thin plate. I will take the help of a sheet of paper. So you have a very thin plate between the two plates, and it has to be lifted, or if you assume that to be horizontal, this has to be pulled. He says it has to be pulled. There are two large surfaces which are 2.4 centimeter apart, and in between them is a thin plate whose area is 0.5 meter square, and this has to be pulled at 0.6 meter per second velocity. And to do so, there are two conditions with using which you will have to calculate what is the force required to do it. Now, it is filled with glycerin, he says, and its viscosity is 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 Newton second per meter square, and this plate, which is 0.5 meter square in area, is very thin. So its thickness has to be neglected so that there is no question of volume. This thin plate, which is presenting 0.5 meter square area on either side, and you have a plane surfaces on either side of the plate. So you have glycerin on this side, you also have glycerin on this side. Now this needs to be pulled at 0.6 meter per second velocity. What force is required to do so is the question. In the first question, he says this plate is exactly at the center of the two plane surfaces, and in the second case he says it is 0.08 centimeter nearer to one of the plane surfaces. So using these conditions, you will have to calculate force required. Where exactly do we have force? Force is hidden in which equation? Tau is equal to mu into du by dy. That is the only equation we have. And observe the difference between this problem and the problems that are already solved. Now in the two previous problems wherein there was rotation involved, the entire surface was in contact with the liquid. And now in the previous problems, prior to those two problems, you had one plane surface presenting its one of the plane surfaces to the liquid. Now in this case, you have a surface both sides of which is subjected to the contact with the liquid. Now I will draw an image that will help you understand the scenario clearly. You have two large plane surfaces. These two large plane surfaces are how much? 2.4 centimeter apart, and there is a thin plate. I will only depict it using a simple straight line. I will not show the thickness of it, and it is presenting 0.5 meter square area on either side. Now you have glycerin here, glycerin of mu 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 Newton second per meter square. He wants this to be pulled at a speed of how much? At a speed of 0.6 meter per second. This coincidentally also happens to be the drawing that helps you to solve the first question. So I will put here as case 1. This is the drawing for case 1. That means this plate is exactly at the center of the gap. That means it has to be 1.2 centimeter from either side. What is his question? Calculate what is the force required to pull this. So it has to be from the equation tau is equal to mu into du by dy. Tau is nothing but F by A. In that you have F, area is given. That must be equal to mu into du by dy. Du is known because the speed is constant. Dy is nothing but the distance or the thickness of the oil film above the surface that is exposed. Now in that the two cases comes into picture. Prior to solving all these things, to pull this from here, what are the forces that may act on this plate? That is the most important point you have to understand prior to solving the problem. Now this is the plate. this plate has to be pulled. If you can observe, I am showing the length of the plate here. This surface is 0.5 meter square is the area. This has to be pulled out. To be pulled, it has to be applied with the required force. How much is the force required? That force required should be able to pull it from the force that is required from this part as well as the force required on the upper part. So, force required on the upper part is different, force required on the lower part is different. If at all, this is not at the center. Since the plate to be pulled is now at the center, force required on the upper side as well as on the lower side will remain the same, for which you need to have a few things written. I will dictate that to you, prior to which I will note down the given data. What is the data given? So, 2.4 centimeter, I will name it as capital H, 2.4 centimeter, nothing but 2.4 into 10 power minus 2 meter. And now I will write this as Y, this as H and this as Y. Y1, upper part is Y1, sorry, okay, I can do that. Upper part is Y1, lower part is Y2. So, Y1 here is equal to Y2 is equal to 1.2 into 10 power minus 2 meter. On either side of the liquid you have the, on either side of the plate you have the same liquid. So, mu1 is equal to mu2 is equal to 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 Newton second per meter square. And next you have the speed. Speed is represented as du in our equation. So, du1 is equal to du2 is equal to 0.6 meter per second. You need to calculate what is F in two cases. In first case, you have the plate at the center. I will write the equation that is required, before which you will have to take down this. Write down please, let F1 be the force required, on the upper side of the plate, and let F2 be the force required, to drag the plate on the lower side, full stop. Therefore, the total force required to drag the plate, F is equal to F1 plus F2, We know that tau is equal to mu into du by dy. I will have to take this as F1 by A1 is equal to mu1 into du1 divided by dy1. But here you can observe A1 on either side does not change, mu1 on either side does not change, du1 that is the speed does not change on either side, dy1 the distance does not change on either side. That means F1 and F2 has to be equal, but here F1 is equal to F2. Therefore, I can write F1 is equal to F2 is equal to, send this A1 onto the right hand side. So, A1 0.5 into, that I have not written in the given data, A is equal to 0.5 meter square. So, F1 and F2 is equal to A1, I have sent it onto the right hand side, 0.5 into mu is 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 into du1. du1 is how much? 0.6 divided by dy1 is nothing but y1 here, and that is equal to 1.2 into 10 power minus 2. Therefore, you will get F1 and F2 to be equal to, please calculate, F1 and F2 must be equal to 20.25 Newton, 20.25 Newton. Therefore, total force required F is equal to F1 plus F2, that is equal to 40.5 Newton. Coming to the second case, what do we have in the second case? This plate is 0.8 centimeter away from one of the plates. So that will be the part that is going to change here. Glycerin will remain the same. So I will only write it as mu here. Now let me take it 0.8 centimeter from the lower plate. So this is Y2 is equal to 0.8 centimeter. What is the remaining part? So 2.4 is the total height. If this is 0.8, the remaining has to be 1.6 centimeter, and I will name it as Y1. Rest of the things will remain same. This has to be pulled with du is equal to 0.6 meter per second. So I will write this as, this drawing is for case 2 now. So case 2, in case 2 what is F1 and F2, all those things will change. I will retain this as, I will remove this and I will start here as case 2. Let there be no confusion. This is case 1. But the drawing now I have on the board is for case 2. Here I already have this equation, F1 by A1 is equal to mu1 into du1 by dy1. Now for case 2 we know that F1 by A1 is equal to mu1 into du1 by dy1. In this case, what is dy1? Nothing but y1, which is equal to 1.6 centimeter. So F1, if I have to calculate, A1 0.5 into mu is 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 into du1, speed remains 0.6 divided by dy1 is 1.6 centimeter, that is 1.6 into 10 power minus 2. Please calculate and get the value of F1. The value of F1 when you take it as 1.6 is 1518 Newton, 15.18 Newton. Now in the case 2 of case 2, that is when you take F2, now F2 by A2 must be equal to mu2 into du2 by dy2. Therefore, F2 is equal to A2 is 0.5, mu2, how much is mu2? Mu2 is 8.1 into 10 power minus 1 into du2 remains 0.6 divided by dy2 is 0.8 centimeter. So that means 0.8 into 10 power minus 2. So get the value of F2. F2 will be equal to 30.375 Newton, 30.375 Newton. Therefore, you will have the total force F as equal to F1 plus F2, that is 30.375 plus 15.18. Total force is 45.56 Newton, 45.56 Newton. That completes this problem. Moving on to the next problem, take it down. An important problem, once it was asked for 12 marks in an exam. A metal plate 1.25 meter by 1.25 meter by 6 millimeter. A metal plate 1.25 meter by 1.25 meter by 6 millimeter weighing 20 Newton is placed midway midway in the 24 millimeter gap, between the two parallel surfaces, full stop. The gap is filled with an oil of specific gravity. The gap is filled with an oil of specific gravity 0.85 and dynamic viscosity 3 Newton second per meter square. 3 Newton second per meter square. Full stop. Determine the force required. To lift the plate. Force required to lift the plate with a constant velocity of 0.15 meter per second. 0.15 meter per second. Very important problem. There is a similarity between the one we have just solved and this problem. Now, what is the difference that is mainly separates this problem from the previous one is, in the previous problem that we have solved, you had to pull the plate, okay, and now you have to lift the plate and the weight of the plate is also given. Now, let us try to understand a few concepts that we already know. ಬಾವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಸೇದಿರೋರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಬಟ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ ಕನಿಷ್ಠ ಪಕ್ಷ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬಾವಿಯಿಂದ ನೀರು ಸೇದೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನೀವು. ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹತ್ತಿರದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ನ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ನದಿನಲ್ಲೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಒಟ್ಟು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಟ ಆಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರ, ನೀರೊಳಗಡೆ ಯಾರನ್ನಾರು ಮಲಗಿಸಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಎತ್ತೋದು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ನಮಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನೀರೊಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಲಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸುಲಭ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ನಾವು ವೈ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? Because there is an upward thrust in the water. That upward thrust which helps you to lift the weight, and you will not actually have to apply the force that is actually required to lift the original weight of the body. This is a very important property that we are going to use to solve this problem. Let's see how does that help us. Now you have a 24 millimeter gap between two large plane surfaces and there is a plate in the midway, and here the plate is weighing 90 Newton and it is the dimension of it is 1.25 meter by 1.25 meter by 6 millimeter thick. In the previous problem I had neglected the thickness because it was very thin. Now the thickness also has to be considered. 1.25 meter and 1.25 meter, 1.25 meter by 1.25 meter and 6 millimeter thickness. So on one side of the plate you have a liquid, and that liquid will to lift this plate, F1 is the force on this side, and to lift the same plate F2 will be the force required on this side. But additionally the self weight of the plate itself, which is 90 Newton, that also adds. But F1 and F2 in addition to not 90 Newton, because you will not have to put that 90 Newton additional force to lift that weight, because water itself will have its, water or the liquid that is given here, I will check which one is the liquid that is given, and that liquid will exert an upward thrust which will help you in lifting the plate that is given, and also the effort or the force that you are putting to lift is not equal to 90 Newton, though the weight of the plate is 90 Newton, because the upward thrust will help you. So I will make you write these sentences. Let F1 be the force required. Let F1 be the force required or you can take it this way. Let F be the force required to lift the plate upwards. Let F be the force required to lift the plate upwards. Full stop. Let F1 and F2 be the forces required. Let F1 and F2 be the forces required on either side of the plate, on either side of the plate, full stop. Let F3 be the difference of self weight and upward thrust, self weight and upward thrust. Next line, hence F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3. F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3. But what is F3? F3 is nothing but the self weight minus the upward thrust. So, I will write this as F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus, if you take self weight as W minus F3 is nothing but W minus upward thrust. Now, what is this upward thrust and how can I calculate this upward thrust? Now, if you see it properly, see the problem and visualize the problem, a 6 millimeter thick plate is inside that liquid. That means it has consumed some volume of the liquid. We can easily understand that the volume of that liquid displaced is nothing but when the volume of the liquid being displaced, if you take the weight of that liquid, that is nothing but the upward thrust. I repeat, you have a 6 millimeter thick plate, 1.25 meter by 1.25 meter by 6 millimeter. When you place that plate inside that liquid, some volume of liquid is displaced. The weight of that volume of liquid is nothing but the upward thrust, because you know that weight is nothing but a force, and this is the thrust that we will have to calculate in order to solve this problem. Now, let us see how can we solve this problem. F1 and F2 are hidden in tau is equal to mu into du by dy. You can easily calculate it, and also you can now understand F1 must be equal to F2 because the plate is placed exactly at the midway. If you get F1, you can easily get F2 also. The problem lies in solving for F3 and sum them, you will get the total force required. So, let me have all the data written and then start solving the problem. How much is the area? How do we calculate? 1.25 meter by 1.25 meter is the area, because 6 millimeter is the thickness. So, how do I get the area? 1.25 into 1.25, which is nothing but equal to 1.5625 meter square. Next, you have been given thickness as 6 millimeter, nothing but 6 into 10 power minus 3 meter. Then you can easily calculate volume. How do I get the see, why is volume required? I will tell you. To calculate the upward thrust, what is required? You need to calculate weight of the volume displaced. So, you need to get the volume also. To get the volume, I will solve it here only. Volume is equal to 1.25 into 1.25 into 6 millimeter, or in other words 1.5625 multiplied by 6 into 10 power minus 3, you will get it as 9375 into 10 power minus 3. I will write it for your convenience. 1.5625 into 6 into 10 power minus 3, which comes out to be 9375 into 10 power minus 3 meter cube, or in other words 9.375 meter cube. So, specific gravity of the liquid is given. Why will this come to help? See, you have to calculate the weight of the volume displaced. How do I get the weight when I have volume? Very important point, get back to basics. What clubs weight and volume? It is nothing but the specific weight. Specific weight is nothing but weight by volume. Now, when you have specific weight as well as volume, you can easily get what is the weight, which is nothing but the upward thrust in this case. Now, specific gravity of the liquid is given to be 0.85. How do I get the weight density using this specific gravity? So, you know that, therefore, density, weight density of the liquid is equal to specific gravity of the given liquid, sorry, I will have to write this as specific gravity of the given liquid is equal to weight density of the given liquid divided by weight density of standard liquid, which is nothing but water. How do I get this? Specific gravity of the given liquid is 0.85, you know it. So, you can straight away write this as weight density of the given liquid is equal to specific gravity of the liquid is 0.85 into specific weight of water. How much is that? If you remember, specific weight is nothing but mass into acceleration due to gravity. You remember that. So, specific weight is mass density into acceleration due to gravity, that is 1000 into 9.81. You can straight away write it as 9810. In total, specific weight of the given liquid must be equal to 8338.5 8338.5 Newton per meter cube. I wish to clarify this here itself. I will repeat this. What I have done is specific gravity of the liquid is equal to weight density of liquid divided by weight density of standard liquid, that is water. So, what is weight density? Weight density is nothing but density multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. Weight density of water is 1000 multiplied by 9.1 is 9810 multiplied by specific gravity of the given liquid is 0.85. In total, you will have 8338.5 Newton per, sorry, it has to be Newton per meter cube. Now, what else is given? This dynamic viscosity of the liquid is given and it is equal to 3 Newton second per meter square. No need to change the unit because it is in the SI unit itself, and it has to be pulled with a constant speed of how much? 0.15 meter per second, 0.15 meter per second, and then you will have to calculate what is this F. Very, very important. That F is nothing but what I have written here. F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3, wherein F3 is W minus upward thrust. I will show you with a very simple diagram. You have two large plane surfaces which are 24 millimeter apart, 24 millimeter apart, and in the midway, midway means 12 millimeter, in the midway you have a plate of 6 millimeter thickness, 6 millimeter thickness. So, from the center 3 millimeter on this direction, 3 millimeter on this direction, which will be the thickness of the plate that is inside this, very important. So, this is the volume that it has consumed. So, whatever liquid we had in this is now displaced by putting this plate. So, this is 6 millimeter thick, 6 millimeter thick. Total is how much? Total is 24 millimeter. If you subtract 6 from 24, it is 18 millimeter. Since it is placed exactly at the midway, the remaining part, so from here to here in 24, this has to be 12 and this also has to be 12. But 6 millimeter is now taken by this plate. So, remaining part is 12 minus 3, that is 9 millimeter here and 9 millimeter here. In total 9 plus 6 15, 15 plus 9 is 24. And what is the liquid you have here? On either side you have the same liquid and it is with viscosity 3 Newton second per meter square. Now, this has to be lifted at what speed? du is equal to 0.15 meter per second. The force required on the left hand side be equal to F1 and this be equal to F2. Now, here you have an upward thrust, here you have an upward thrust generated by this liquid. Now, we will have to calculate F3, which is nothing but the not F3 but the upward thrust. How do you get the upward thrust? Upward thrust is nothing but equal to, thrust is nothing but weight here, weight is nothing but force, which is now hidden in which equation? Specific weight is equal to weight by volume. Weight by volume, in that you already know what is the specific weight. Specific weight of this liquid is, specific weight of this liquid, I will write this as gamma L into volume. Volume is also already calculated, using which you can get what is upward thrust. Weight is already known, which is 90 Newton. So, if you can solve for F1 and F2, this part is also solved. How do I get F1? F1, which is now in the equation, from the figure, if you observe, from the figure, F1 must be equal to F2, because nothing changes. Where are all these equations? F by A is equal to mu into du by dy. What is F has to be calculated. In the first case, it is, I will take it as F1. F1 is equal to, how much is the area? You have calculated 1.5625 into mu is 3 into du. Where is du? He has given it to be 0.15. dy is the most important part in this problem. How much is du? It is the thickness of the oil film. What is the thickness of the oil film? So, from here to here, that is 9 millimeter. On this side also it is 9 millimeter. So, I will take it as 9 into 10 power minus 3. So, solving which you will get F1 is equal to, F2 is equal to 78.125 Newton, 78.125 Newton. F1 and F2 is equal to 78.125 Newton. So, this part is over. What I am supposed to calculate is F3. F3 is nothing but W minus upward thrust. Here F3 is equal to weight minus upward thrust. Weight is 90 Newton, it is known. Upward thrust is, you can observe here I have written, it is density, weight density multiplied by volume. How did I arrive at this point? Most important, it is the weight of the volume of the liquid displaced. Weight of the volume of the liquid displaced. That is the reason why I have written. How much volume is displaced? How do I get it? Specific weight is equal to weight by volume. Now, upward thrust is nothing but weight. So, what I can do is weight of volume of liquid displaced is equal to upward thrust. This I can write so that you can understand. Weight of volume of liquid displaced is equal to upward thrust is equal to weight density into volume. So, I can write it as weight density you have achieved as 8338.5 into volume. Volume is 9.375. I have written 9375 into 10 power minus 3 as 9.375. So, you will get F3 as 90 minus that you have F3 as 11.83 Newton, 11.83 Newton. So, finally, you have F is equal to, therefore, F is equal to 78.125 plus 78.125 plus 11.83. Therefore, the total force required, F is equal to, you have 168.08 Newton, 168.08 Newton. I hope you have understood. If you want, you can revisit all the sections in the problem and you can get back to me for the doubts. I am left with one problem on viscosity which I am going to solve and wind up this class. That problem is also very important. Take the problem now. through a very narrow gap of height h, through a very narrow gap of height h, comma, a thin plate of large extent is pulled. A thin plate of very large extent is pulled at a velocity v, at a velocity v, capital V, full stop. On one side of the plate is an oil, on one side of the plate is an oil of viscosity mu1, and on other side is an oil of viscosity mu2, full stop. Calculate the position of the plate, calculate the position of the plate so that first question or first point, the shear force on the sides of the plate, the shear force on the sides of the plate is equal, Second one, the pull required to drag the plate, is minimum, If you go through the problem, you will find no numerical values. That means this is a case dependent problem which will also be like a derivation itself. Now, what are the things that are given in the problem that will help us solve this? Of course, it is dependent on the equation that you already know, that tau is equal to mu into du by dy, which can be further written as f by a is equal to mu into du by dy. Now, he says there is a gap of height h between two large plane surfaces, and in between them a plate of again a large extent is being pulled. Now, you observe, and if you observe carefully, you will come to know that this is a kind of problem that we have already solved, but that was solved with numerical values. Now, you do not have numerical values. Now, what does the in continuation say? To pull that, you have the difference from previous problems to this is on either side of the plate you have two different liquids. That means mu1 on the upper side and mu2 on the lower side. That means obviously the force required to pull it on the upper side is F1, pull required on the lower side is F2. The total force required, you will have to, if you have to calculate, it has to be F1 plus F2. In continuation, he says you will have to find the force required, if I am not wrong, yes, the position of the plate is required so that the shear force on either sides of the plate is equal. That means you will have to now find the position of the plate wherein you will have to have F1 being equal to F2. In the second case, the pull required to drag the plate is minimum. The pull required to drag the plate will be minimum only when the differentiation of shear force, that is total force, is equal to 0. Let me come to the second question later. I will first take up the first case. So, if I draw the content for case 1, two large plane surfaces that are kept at, say he says h, I will write this as, I will assume this to be h meters apart. Now, place the plate in such a way that F1 is equal to F2. So, I will place it somewhere, I do not know where exactly it will come, but I will place the plate. Of course, thickness and all have to be neglected because it is not mentioned in the problem. Let y be the distance of the plate from the bottom, and hence the remaining part must be equal to h minus y. So, for case 1, and also here the liquid is having viscosity mu1, here it is mu2, it has to be pulled with a constant velocity. If I am not wrong, it is v, not u. It has to be pulled with a velocity v. Now you take the case 1. In case 1 you write let F1 and F2 be the forces required, let F1 and F2 be the forces required to pull the plate on either side of the plate. From the given condition, F1 is equal to F2, F1 is equal to F2. Where do I have F1? So I will have to first have an expression for F1. That part I will solve here. We know that tau is equal to mu into du by dy. This can be written as F by A is equal to mu into du by dy. Now what is F is required here, therefore F is equal to A mu into du by dy. Write the same expression for F1 now, given that F1 is equal to F2. So if you write this as F1, A becomes A1, mu becomes mu1 into du, that is velocity in this problem is given as v, it is not going to change on either side, A1 mu1 into v divided by dy. If this is to be taken as F1 and this is to be taken as F2, what is F1 now? On the upper side you have h minus y. This must be equal to F2. If you replace F2 here, A2 mu2, velocity is not going to change, dy is nothing but here. How much is dy? Dy is nothing but y. Area of the plate on either side is same, so A1 and A2 gets cancelled, and velocity on either side is same, so v and v gets cancelled. What are you left with? You are left with mu1 by h minus y is equal to mu2 by y. On rearranging, you have mu1 by mu2 is equal to, I have brought this down, mu1 by mu2 is equal to h minus y by y. Now on simplification you have h by y minus y by y. So this is nothing but h by y minus 1 is equal to mu1 by mu2. If you remember the question, what was the question? Find the distance of the plate or find the position of the plate. What is defining the position of the plate to me in the diagram that I have drawn? Y is defining the position of the plate. So I will have to have my answer in terms of y. Please remember that. So I will write this as h by y is equal to mu1 by mu2 plus 1. I have told you that I have to have the expression in terms of y. Therefore, the position of the plate y is equal to, if I send this y to here, you are left with y is equal to h divided by 1 plus mu1 by mu2. This is the position of the plate in case 1. Now moving on to the second case, what has it given to us? The second case says that, I will read out for you, the pull required to drag the plate is minimum. Pull required to drag the plate is minimum. You will have to find the position of the plate in such a way that the pull required is minimum. When can the pull be minimum? Pull minimum doesn't mean F is equal to 0. Be careful. F must be minimum, not equal to 0. With respect to what is it going to change? If you just check the two problems that we have solved prior to this, depending upon the position of the plate, F varied. That means you must know that based on the position of the plate, definitely force is going to change. That means you will have to differentiate the total force with respect to position of the plate so that you will get the solution to the second case. And he says it is to be minimum. That means df by dy must be equal to 0. I will retain the same diagram, but I will change this to case 2 and remove all these things because I have a different challenge now. He says the pull required is minimum. So for the pull to be minimum, condition is nothing but df by dy is equal to 0. Why am I writing this? The application of differentiation, that is mathematics, to the classical fluid mechanics is here. What is this F? F is the total force which needs to be minimum. How do I minimize it? And what is it dependent on? It is dependent on the position of the plate. Position of the plate is nothing but y. So, variation of F with respect to y is what I am doing. Variation of F with respect to y must be minimum. That means df by dy must be equal to 0. What is df here? D by dy of f, you read it as d by dy of f. So, I will write this as d by dy of f. F is nothing but f1 plus f2 is equal to 0. What is f1 and f2? You have the expression ready for f. Use this and get what is f1 and f2. Therefore, d by dy of f1 is a mu1 into v by dy is, in case what is dy? f1 dy is h minus y plus a mu2 v divided by, in case of f2, what is the dy? It is nothing but y. This must be equal to 0. If you observe carefully, a and v are common factors. So, I will take them out. Av into d by dy, and a is a constant, v is a constant. So, I am taking it out of the differential. So, you have d by dy of mu1 by h minus y plus mu2 by y. This must be equal to 0, and when you send Av to that side, that also gets negated, that is 0. So, the equation remains d by dy of mu by h minus y plus mu2 by y must be equal to 0. I will write this as d by dy of mu1 by, in fact, I can, mu1 is a constant, so I can write this as mu1 into d by dy of 1 by h minus y plus mu2 into d by dy of 1 by y. This must be equal to 0, because a and v would have already cancelled. So, on differentiation, mu1 into, if you observe, differentiation of 1 by h minus y. H is a constant, y is the only variable. It is, I will show you one example here. What is this? It is like 1 by x. What is the differentiation of 1 by x? This can be written as x to the power of minus 1. So, it is nothing but minus 1 x to the power of minus 1 minus 1, that is n minus 1. So, this is nothing but minus x to the power of minus 2, or in other words minus 1 by x square, minus 1 by x square. So, similarly, if I write this, it is mu1 divided by h minus y whole square plus, you have mu2, I will write it as it is, mu2 divided by, what is the differentiation of 1 by y? Very similar, minus 1 by x square, that is similar, nothing but minus y square. This must be equal to 0. I can write this as mu1 by h minus y square. You have minus here, when you send it on to the other side, you have mu2 by y square. On rearrangement, I will write this as mu1 by mu2 is equal to h minus y whole square divided by y square. And taking square root, this becomes root of mu1 by mu2 is equal to h minus y by y. This can again be written as h by y minus y by y, nothing but root of mu1 by mu2 is equal to h minus y minus 1. On rearrangement, you have h by y is equal to 1 plus root of mu1 by mu 2. And I have told you that y is what is we require, because that is the position of the plate. Therefore, y is equal to h divided by 1 plus root of mu 1 by mu 2 is the solution for this problem. I hope the things that we have learned is totally understood by you, and I will wind up this session at this moment. Thanks for the patient listening. Good day.